Welcome back, everyone. This is the video you're likely waiting for, is how we can fit one of our TP4070s into this AK-917. This is a 8-scale type motor, and even most 8 scales don't have this big of a motor, but this is a common speedrun motor, the TP4070. And this particular one is a CM motor, so it's rated for a little bit higher RPMs and amperage. So most of us own 8 scales and 7 scales, and we would love to put the TP4070 into this car. I was messing with this mount. I ended up cutting it, grinding on it, trying to figure out something where I could mount a different motor mount. I was looking at the old Traxxas X01 mount, which I don't love. It's got a lot of slop in it. I was looking if we could cut out some of this area. Didn't like it. I looked at the Arma motor mount that you find on the 6S cars, the Limitless, Felony, Infraction, all those. It sat too high above where the drive shaft is. So what did we come up with? You might recognize that. You might not. That is the Hobao VTE2 sliding motor mount. And the shaft fits right down the middle. I did have to put a little bit of a shim. I can't even tell what size this is, but I think it's around 0.3 millimeters. The bearing obviously needs to be different because the shaft on this 10 scale car is a 5mm shaft. So I went with just one that I could get on Amazon pretty quickly. And you can see there 5 by 16 by 5. That's the size bearing you need. Like I said, a small shim. Without it, the mount would kind of wobble back and forth. It was suspended on the shaft, so you need to fill in that gap on the bottom just slightly. If you put it in there without a shim, I think it would pull down slightly on your center shaft, and that's going to wear out your bearing on the input gear on the diff there. A couple perks here. You've gotten away from this tiny bearing on the Rlaarlo factory mount to this bigger bearing. This one's going to take a majority of the load. As shown in the previous video, got Mod 1 gear swapped in there. You just have to make a flat spot on your 5mm shaft, use a pinion that's 5mm bore. And so now we have a sliding mount that we can mount in here. Our TP4070, the XLX2. Can kind of get shoehorned in here. I haven't decided if it'll go on the side or I might try to mount it up on top of the center mount somehow. Then obviously plenty of room on the opposite side for your battery. I'll be looking to run a 4-cell. But anyway, this is very possible. I'm going to cut over to an image. The mount can actually align with these holes that were already there, and that's key. You don't want your motor mount to be off a little bit. If it is, what's going to happen is your gear on your motor and your gear on your spur there are going to misalign. You're going to start chipping teeth, breaking teeth, and it's ultimately going to fail in some way. You're going to be eating up bearings, teeth. You might get it up to high speed and not be able to stop, so consider that. Be really careful. The other thing I'll mention real quick, I went ahead and fit BSR foams on here. These are the standard 26mm 10th scale foams. The spokes they fit very close to the hub, so you have to take off that fake brake caliper that you see on the other side. It's hard to tell. You can actually see the concave spoke design that they put on these factory wheels, and those allow it to clear over that brake caliper. But you're not going to be able to do that on the foams. And I'll say this, I've ran before the larger drag foams that have a little bit of an offset. I haven't tried it on this car, and I don't own any of those right now, but they might clear the caliper, I'm not sure. But I can say this, I've never seen anybody go fast, like real fast, like over 140 with anything except like the 26 or the 30 millimeter foams. I've never seen somebody go super fast with drag foams, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Now, I'm going to say it one more time. When you're going here to drill these holes for your motor mount, these ones that go into the aluminum part behind it, put some heat on it. You can either stick a soldering iron on it, or I like to use the little gas torch because I'm impatient and I like to do it fast. You'll notice here I still got to countersink these a little bit more. They're standing up, but it will line up with your original motor mount holes, so it kind of helps give you a guideline for getting that straight. That is it for now. You know, this is going to get pretty competitive, and hopefully this helps even the playing field between the big dogs and you, the average Joe. So you can get a 40 millimeter motor in there and you know, way overpower this thing. So have fun, be safe, and thank you. If you're not subscribed already, stay tuned.